This is a tutorial, a video, if you will, on how to don sterile gloves. To start with, before you don sterile gloves, you need to make sure that your package is usable for the situation. So you're going to look at several different criteria. Number one, is it in date? So I'll look at the expiration date. I'll look at the package to make sure it is intact, it is not torn. I'm looking to make sure it's not visibly soiled or that it is visibly discolored. Any of those criteria would warrant this package unusable. So this package has met that different criteria, and I'm going to prepare now my procedure to don sterile gloves. I'm going to put this to the side. I don't need it. I'm looking at my gloves, and I'm orienting myself to the cuff end being the end closest to me. I'm going to open the package, and I have identified the left and the right glove, making sure I'm going to be donning the correct glove on the correct hand. Notice my body in position to my table. The table is at waist high, which is necessary to maintain sterility of your field. And also I'm stepping back from my field. I'm not hanging over my sterile field. At this point, when the package is open, you'll note a vulnerable section to the contents of the package. There is an open area here. So from this point forward, I don't want anything to fan over that open area, as it will make the gloves become contaminated. So I'm proceeding at an arm's length. I'm going to fold the package back just to keep it from flipping back over. And I'm going to fold the package toward me. And I'm going to grab the tabs up underneath, and I'm going to open my package. Notice that I'm taking care not to reach inside my sterile field. So I'm opening the gloves on the 1-inch border. What creates a 1-inch border is anytime something contaminated comes in contact with something that is sterile, you have a 1-inch contaminated border, i.e. where the packaging has touched the table, I now have a 1-inch contaminated border that I must be mindful of. Everything inside that border is considered sterile. As always, I'm continuing to stay back from my sterile field, and I'm not laying over my field. At this point, I'm going to use my non-dominant hand to grab the dominant glove at the bottom end of the cuff, because wherever I contact this glove, I have a new 1-inch border that has been created, and I need to make sure that the glove remains sterile, the part of the glove I'm actually going to be using. I'm also taking care not to touch the paper, as this paper will become my sterile field. I'm going to pick the glove up, not to drag it across the borders, and I'm going to step back. I'm going to keep it above my waist. I'm going to open the glove, and I'm going to insert my hand slowly and carefully, because I'm watching where these fingertips are going to go, that they're not going to flop back over and contaminate the glove. I'm carefully going to keep pulling on the very bottom end of my cuff until I'm in this situation. And I'm going to leave this hand alone now. With this finger, I'm going to stabilize my paper on that 1-inch contaminated border. Non-sterile can touch non-sterile. This hand is sterile. I'm going to grab the glove, the opposite glove, under the cuff, and I'm going to be careful that I'm not scooping the glove over onto a border. I need to maintain the sterility of the glove, so I'm going to keep it inside that border. I'm going to say 3 things to myself, and this will help me remember so that I won't make a mistake. I'm going to say up, up, and away. This thumb must remain abducted during the entire gloving procedure. If I were to put it down, it will be considered contaminated once my hand touches this glove. So I'm going to carefully locate my fingers. If they don't go right where I want them to go initially, it's okay. Notice that my fingers are protected and sleeved inside a sterile area. I'm going to let go. At this point, I'm going to interlock my fingers so that my fingertips go all the way inside the glove, and I'm going to keep my hands above my waist, and I'm ready to perform my procedure. To deglove, and that's whether it's sterile gloves or non-sterile gloves, there's a certain procedure we're going to use to deglove as well. Keeping in mind that at this point, once I've performed a procedure, I have pathogens on my glove, and I want to contain those pathogens. So I'm going to take my dominant hand, and I'm going to pull the glove up and envelop it in the other glove. I'm going to take my finger and go under the surface of the glove that was not touching pathogens, and I'm going to put my gloves like such, and I will discard them in the appropriate receptacle.